What's up, Metal Summoners? It is so great to see all of you guys all the time, starting your weekend right here live every Wednesday night. We are super stoked to have you. We are super stoked to rock out with you. We will have our guests Steve and Brent on shortly, but we just thought we would get you guys started with our beautiful, friendly faces. As always, your Island of Misfit Toys with myself, with the Bobby Dreyer, and with our heavenly angel Alamo. So we just thought we would kick things off talking a little bit about what's been going on, the start of 2023, how things have been shaping up, and stuff that we have on the docket and stuff. So Bobby was just talking off the air about talking with one of the music world's personalities about the rock festival that just went down in Florida, I believe. That Bobby, you were planning to attend with our Weiss, but Rock Island, but you were feeling a little bit under the weather. But what did you hear about Rock Island?
So far today, was the Canadian Day. So, you had all the boys from up north playing. So, except for one of our alum bands, and Todd Kearns is playing bass with with Steven Adler. So Steven's down there, but he's playing right now with Loverboy, Honeymoon Suite, and Helix. So right now, Loverboy is getting ready to take the stage. And I just got
Loverboy's about to take the stage. Is that right? Is that right, Bobby? You were cutting a little bit.
Yeah, Loverboy's getting ready to take the stage right now.
Nice. Right on. Yeah, and Pretty Boy Floyd played last night, and I think Enough's Enough, I believe, was on last night.
And Jet Boy,
right, yeah. Enough's Enough has been doing a lot of touring right now on their Beatles album that they did.
Well, the great thing, too, is who we have coming up on February 1st is somebody who's out on the road right now with Enough's Enough, and that would be Midnight Devils.
Our boys, yeah. We had Sniper on a while back. Got to talk with him. We talked a lot of Eddie Van Halen, and we talked a lot of guitars on that episode.
Yeah, so they'll be on with us, and then after that we have...
Okay, we got our guest. Not to cut you off, Bobby.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, right on.
There
they are. What's up, friends and fellow awesome people? Steve Blaze, Brent Graham, how are you, gentlemen?
Wait, I need to...
Yeah, doing great. How are you guys?
We're awesome. We're doing great. First and foremost, Steve, thanks again for being involved with us. We got to chit chat at M3.
Yes, we did. It's good to see you again. Good to see your smiling, happy faces again.
Always, man. Absolutely. And Brent, I mean, you tore it up, man, but this is the first time that you get to hang out with us. So thanks for being a part of it.
Oh, man, I really appreciate that, man. It means a lot to me. Yeah, it's an honor to be here with you guys tonight.
Absolutely.
So appreciate it.
Had to get me an adult beverage. I'm going to call this the African-American Matt Porter because it's the Hershey's Porter.
Nice. There you go. Hey, hang on 1 second. I got to grab my drink real quick.
Oh, there you go.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah, I've tried the Hershey beer. It was a while ago, but if I remember correctly, it was pretty decent.
Yeah, it's not bad. It won't give you the Hershey squirts.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I gotta laugh my ass off. Are you guys in a fucking closet?
No, man. This is not a closet. This is the closet because I took one of our spare bedrooms and I turned it into an office slash closet. Let me show y'all here how much clothes.
Hell yeah!
I have more clothes than anybody you could imagine.
I love that you're a sneaker whore.
Oh yeah, over here. Wait, here they are. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can show you. No, I got here it is. See the shoes?
Nice.
I got about 80 pairs of shoes.
Damn.
I did it so my wife could have the master closet. So I had to be bigger. So I turned the entire spare bedroom into a, I guess you call it a closet, but it's more like an office. I've got a desk. I come in here. I've got, Legos and jewelry and everything. It's my little hideaway. So, but we went ahead and we got some new kittens. now we have 5 cats, but we got 2 brand new ones. And so they think this is their room. So I actually have a litter box in here too, because they have taken over the office. So so that's why you can see the clothing in the background here.
Oh, right on. We've got this is now officially the precursor to the new lillianaxe EP, Trapped in the Closet.
Trapped,
Right.
coming out of the closet.
Actually, I wish I had a closet like this, because this is really neat. He's got all kind of jewelry in here and everything, so it's great. I do have a room in my house.
That's awesome. Hell yeah.
A vinyl listening room with some memorabilia on the walls and all. So I'm trying to work on that. So maybe it won't be like Steve's office, but
He's got plenty of room in his house too. I keep telling him you got to have your own room. I have my kitty cup here too with the bent straw. So
right.
with my diet.
So you got we've got the Steve Blaze juice box.
There you go.
Hey, that'll be the next thing you get. You got the
I
beard
like-
oil. You get the juice box.
Yep, I got the. Have y'all seen the beard oil? Wait. Let me see if I got.
No.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
this
Steve's.
Look at this, y'all. Look.
This is a
I don't
fun.
know if you can see this.
Oh man, our
Beard oil?
Steve's about to be jealous as hell that he's not on this episode.
Hold on
Yeah.
1 second. Hold on. Let me add it to your screen. Hold on, not the face I wanted to put on.
Is that for
Close.
Oh, there it is.
There we go.
Steve?
Oh,
does
the
that
actual
work on
Steve
bearded-
Blaze beard oil.
I have my
does
own
that
beard
work
oil.
on
It's a
bearded
company.
clams?
All right.
What's
That's
that?
something that's
Does
something
it
that's a,
work on bearded clams?
It can work anything that needs any kind of hair oil. You could put it on your
Yes.
armpits, I guess, if you needed to.
Well,
That's
if
a
you're
company
into-
called Wolves of Odin, and they contacted me and said, "Hey, look, man, we like that you are taking good care of your beard, and you guys all have beards. Would you like to create your own beard oil?" And I did, and we worked on it, and he sent me testers, and we talked about what fragrances we liked, and we talked to the women in our lives to find out what they liked, and we came up with this. It's amber, leather, and a touch of smoke. So it's
where
very
can people
good.
get it? Yeah, where can people get it?
Well, there's a link on my Facebook page, but if you go to a company called, it's Wolves, like plural of wolf, Wolves of Odin.com. We got the whole Viking thing going on, where the guy that owns the company, I mean, he is straight out of Vikings. He's got the big long beard, and they're out of Texas. Great guy too. So anyway, so that I like selling products, man, if I believe in them. You put my name on a cereal box if the cereal's good,
When you develop a
Absolutely.
anti-inflammatory, then
What about condoms?
The Brendan Graham hemorrhoidal anti-fungus cream.
Hey, I didn't say hemorrhoidal. I just said anti-inflammatory.
Well, what about condoms though? You could sell that. I mean, Steve Blaze condoms.
Look, if it keeps people from getting in situations they would rather not be in, why not? It's a safety thing, right?
Absolutely.
As long as the message is good, we're there.
Protect your axe.
That's it.
Like,
Hey,
That's a good.
Go.
there you go.
absolutely. Well, Steve, why don't we just kind of roll with that real quick? Why don't you just talk a little bit more about how you became involved with them?
With the beard
With
oil?
yeah. Like, did they hit you up? Did you just stumble across them because of like just hygiene products that you like to use? Like, how exactly did Wolves of Odin and you kind of collide?
The owner of the company contacted me because I'm always on Facebook, and he wanted to send me some of the product, and he's been a fan of the band, and their company is they're really cool guys there, man, and he's a great dude, and so he said, "Hey, look, man, I want you to try some of this out," and he said, "If you like it, we'll create your own signature scent." Well, actually, right now, in addition to that, we're working on a perfume for women and a cologne for men. And the cologne we've gotten like down to a science. Like I passed it around to some of my secretaries, and they were like, "This is it. This is really good." And they tell me if it wasn't. Trust me.
Sure.
My wife likes it. His wife likes it. It really smells really good. It's a manly scent, You know, it's not like, you know, lavender and kitty fur, you know. So right. And so we're going to start putting that out soon, and then we're working on the women's perfume too. We still have a little more fine tuning, but I love doing that stuff, man. You know, I've got my own guitar pickup, my signature pickups that just came out recently, pop vinyls, and anything to, you know, make people happy and promote the name of Lillianaxe. I'm all about.
Steve, who's doing your pickups?
It's a company called Carondelet. Jeff Richard's the guy's name. He is like the most amazing luthier and guitar builder and pickup guy that I've ever met. And the funny part is he's right here in Baton Rouge. And all these years, I had never met him. I'd heard his name, but, you know, just never got around to meeting him. And finally did. And he's like, man, I've been wanting to get in touch with you for so many years. I'm like, oh, man, am I really that, you know, I'm right here. Just go for it. Don't be scared to call. And we have, it's called the Love and War set. Like the Love's pickup is the your bridge pickup. And then the neck pickup is the, I don't know which one's Love and War. I think they're both sweet. So, and we sell it as a set. And it's, if you go to Carondelet Pickups website, it talks all about it. It's the way that he's created these pickups.
How do you spell it?
Unique. It's actually a street name in New Orleans. Carondelet. Carondelet. And Jeff Richard is his name. And I mean, this guy he's amazing. He actually built my newest guitar to my specs. And it's like the main guitar you see with it's a seafoam green, believe it or not. And so we've got all my main axes decked out with the pickups, and they're out on the market, and the people that are getting them are just falling in love with them. So really happy with it.
That's awesome, Steve. That's so cool, man. And you were talking about just a second ago, hey, anything that'll help promote the name of Lillianaxe is always a good thing. Well, let's talk about the best way to promote Lillianaxe. We are now in 2023, and you guys have a new record out.
Yes, we do. 10th studio record, 15th release, and it's called From Womb to Tomb. We just shot a video this weekend. It was a 2-day shoot, but the first day it got canceled. Our drummer lives in Dallas, and as they were leaving to drive down here to do the shoot on Saturday, the car broke down. So it was too late, and we couldn't get a rent-a-car or a flight in time to make the next morning. So we moved that part of the shoot to a week and a half from now. But we did the most difficult part on Sunday, and it's for a song called Feelings of Absinthe. Did you guys see I Am Beyond, the first video?
Yes.
Okay. This is the second one, and I'll give you an idea. It's based, the song is about narcissism and arrogance in celebrity and politicians and world leaders, etc., all lumped together. But it's there's a storyline behind it, which we actually get to do some acting in, concerning the Illuminati or a relatable entity and its demise. And we did it in green screen, so there's plagues and locusts and the whole idea of good triumphing over evil, but how powerful evil has become in the last 20, 30 years. And so it's really amazing when you see this. I can't wait for it to be out, but it's Brent you had a good time doing this, didn't you?
I had a great time, and I'm hoping for a Golden Globe for my acting performance.
Nice.
You know, I'm waiting for the call to say that I've been nominated. So I mean, you know,
gold. You'll get gold in something, but I don't know if it's gonna be
no. It was
Fun.
I had a lot of fun filming the first video. That was pretty much done all green screen. And this one, you know, when we go to do the second part of the shoot, which, you know, didn't happen this past weekend, we're going to be on location somewhere, and it's going to be, you know, a pretty cool experience and drone shots and all kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, remember I told you guys how my ghost hunting team was shooting it. We shot a documentary, and we did it at a place called Fort Jackson down in southern Louisiana. It's a Civil War fort. A big battle was fought there in the Civil War. We have a great connection there, even though it's really kind of off to the public. You can go in there and visit and sightsee, but it's kind of hard to get into. We have a great connection there, so we've been allowed to go in and shoot us. We're going to be performing on the fort, up in the high part of the fort, out in the field, in the tunnels underneath where the whole battle of Fort Jackson took place, and we'll be doing group playing together, individually, drone shots, all kinds of unusual footage of the performance of the song will be at the fort. So it's going to be really cool. And this is where we did the ghost hunting documentary. So the place is haunted. So we may pick something up on camera and not even realize it until we're editing, So it's going to be cool.
I'm all about that. I love any kind of like haunt stuff. In fact, me and my girl a few weeks ago went out not far from my house. There's an old bridge called the Jericho Covered Bridge that goes back to like Civil War time. That's known for like, having former soldiers seen there, hearing their voices, hearing the boots and stuff like that. And so we were like out of the car listening to it, and and you could hear things and you could like see things. We were looking at a couple of pictures that I just snapped with my cell phone, and we're like, look at that. That looks like it's there, and just really, really cool like stuff. So definitely,
there's so much energy in those Civil War locations, and that's why we shot this there. We got a lot of evidence, and when the documentary comes out, you'll see it. But we picked up voices and and a lot of evidence and what we came up with. And I also caught 2 snakes while we were there too. And they had a giant alligator in the moat. And, so there was wildlife there too as well. But that's where we're shooting the performance section of the new video. So it's going to be real.
That's awesome for sure. Brian, yes. The Jericho Covered Bridge in Kingsville. I saw your comment. Yep, that's exactly where I was. Brian's local to my area, so he knows what I'm talking about for sure. But Brent, let's kick it over to you real quick before I bring Bobby in to take over. Why don't you talk a little bit about the record for you and, songwriting and vocal and getting vocally involved with this new record. Let's steer it on to you for a bit.
Yeah, man. Well, I've made a few little albums in the past, but I did a few little vocals on some older records. I was in a band up in Iowa when I lived there, but this was really my first experience making a full out rock record, singing on all the tracks, and it was a lot of fun for me, challenging at times. You're going in and you're singing as hard as you can sing for hours and hours, and it's just not like you sing through the song one time and okay, that's good.
Not with me.
Steve has
just say it. I'm really hard to work with in the studio.
No,
I'm kidding.
No, there were times when I would get frustrated, but not at Steve, just at not being able to get something. Like he would tell me how he wanted it done. I'm just having a hard time grasping it. So, you take and you retake, but it's not, it's just, he knows what he wants because he writes the songs. He writes the melodies. He knows how he wants, words pronounced a certain way, how they're going to sound the best on the record. And so take after take until you get it right, and there would be times where I'm like, oh yeah, that was good. He'd be like, no, you could do better, and so we do it again. And so it was tedious at times, but I'm really, really proud of what is out there for the world to hear from now to eternity. It's there now, and I can't look at anything that I've done on there and say, oh, I wish I would have did this better, and that's what Steve would stress to me. He's like, well, once it's out, it's out. And there's no do-overs at that point, and so I'm proud of it. I'm really proud of it.
And you should be, because you killed it.
Thank you.
It was amazing what he did, because as a producer, the job is, it's kind of, some people say, well, there's a little bit of, difficulty in writing the songs and producing, because as a producer, you have to be objective. My job is to get the best performance out of the guys. And that's what, and usually musically, it's it's very rarely something that you have to do too many times. With vocals, I know when I work with vocalists, especially somebody as good as this guy, but I know what his potential is. So it could be a take that it sounds great, it's perfectly in pitch, the emotion's there, but it's missing that one little thing. And sometimes he nailed it on the first track, and not just him, but any singer. Nail it on the first track. Sometimes I drive him nuts, and the other takes would be great. They'd be good takes, but there was something missing. And every time we just stayed with it, he killed it and went beyond my expectations. I mean, I listen to his singing now on it, and it gives me chills. It's so not only powerful, but emotional. The depth. There are a few points on that record where his voice just goes through me. You know what I mean? It's you can feel it in your bones. It's yeah, that's amazing. So, he should be incredibly proud of it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And Brent, as a final thing from me on this segment, just talk about getting involved with the band, because you're part of a band that is known for having that presentation, that package, as well as being a very, very tight unit that also believes incredibly deeply in their writing, their style, their performance, and the relationship with their fans. So talk a little bit about you getting involved with the band and coming involved into that such a tight-knit group, such a tight-knit family that Lillianaxe has.
Well, Steve and I met, I guess it was 5 years ago, maybe 6
Longer
something.
than that. Yeah,
Longer
we
than
first
that.
started Sledgehammer. Yeah.
Well, when Steve was out doing Circle of Light, I met him at a festival they played here locally, and I knew who he was, and then fast forward a few years, Steve and Guy from Zebra were putting together Sledgehammer, just a cover band around here to play, and so I got involved with that, and that's when I really got to know Steve. Well, Steve was, I was intimidated. I was a cover band singer singing around New Orleans area, and I walk in and it's Gelso and Steve and Mike Max and Joe Kaluta, and I'm kind of this little local guy, and so I was a little intimidated, but Steve from day one, working with him, he was real easy to work with, and immediately I felt like he was a guy, if I needed something, the second day I met him, I could call him and say, Steve, man, I got a problem. He was just one of those guys where I felt like family immediately. And then, Sledgehammer played, I was with him a couple of years, and we just kind of formed a bond. And so when the opportunity came to do Lillianaxe, I think, but between that and when I left Sledgehammer, Steve would call and check on me. He'd call me out of the blue once a month or something, say, hey man, I just wanted to check see how you doing. So him and I always seemed to click from day one. And so I always felt like family. And then, and as far as Lillianaxe goes, Steve always surrounds himself with good people, people that are family oriented, people that, have the same values and beliefs and things like that. And so coming into the band, I felt like family, and I feel like that today, that, I could call any one of these guys if I had, I really needed somebody, and they would be there for me in a drop of a hat, So just, and to be in the band, when I was offered the job, it was kind of, I was like, really? I mean, because I'd never been a part of anything this big, on a level like this. And so I felt a huge responsibility, and what was good for me and bad for the music world in general was when COVID shut everything down, because our first show was going to be, I think, 4 months after I was announced as a singer. And then all that got postponed. So it gave Steve and I a chance to work on the catalog. Like he'd say, okay, you need to learn these songs, and we'll get those. And you need to learn these because we play these. And so got me real familiar with the catalog, and I always wanted to do the songs justice, like don't stray from how they were originally sung, and because people want to hear it like it was recorded. That's
Yeah.
previous catalog is not my time to scat around and do my own thing. The new record was my time to kind of do what I should be doing, but I've always wanted to do the catalog justice. I'm a people person. I go out there. I love meeting the fans. That's a thrill for me. I mean, when people come up that have been a fan of the band since the first record, and they tell me, "Man, you killed it." I mean, it makes me feel great, man, because that's what I want to do. I don't want somebody to come up, "Well, you sang that a little different," and I don't want anybody to say that to me. I'm not perfect, but I try to do the justice, for the old catalog, and and I'm singing the new stuff just like it was sung on the record, because that's how people want to hear it. So, I'm glad to be a part of this. It's exciting for me. I can't wait to see what happens this year and moving forward. So I hope I didn't long too long. I just
No.
You sit next to me, you're worried about rambling on.
No, well, it's funny you should say that, Steve. So when I was doing our little TikTok videos on my page as well as the Metal Summit page, where I let everybody know, like, hey guys, coming up on the next episode of the Metal Summit, or hey guys, live tonight, a reminder, this is who we've got. I actually literally kind of did say that. I was like, hey, we got back Steve Blaze, and he's bringing Brent Graham. And if you guys are familiar, of course, with what we've been doing, you remember us from M3 last year, when we cover it every year, and we had Steve who rocked with us for over an hour at a festival where time is of the essence. And because the talent, all of you, the talent is kept on a very particular, you guys have a real time frame. All the talent of festivals like that really do have like pretty strict time schedules and stuff. Yeah. And so I actually did say that. I was like, man, we got Steve Blaze at a festival that usually keeps us to like strict 15, 20 minutes. And he was having a good time, and we were bonding and we were rocking. It was an hour something after that.
Oh, yeah. I probably would have another hour.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. But we knew that we had to cut Bobby loose to be able to shoot the bands, because he was working. And I think we had and then I think we had Zebra like scheduled right after you. So it was one of those things that was like, well, we'll just get Steve back on the show and we'll just talk more and we can bring everybody.
There you go.
But it was like, I was like, as much as this is awesome, I was like, let's try not to eat up all of the day from everything that people are doing. But no, like I said, we're super stoked to have you on, Brent. It's an absolute pleasure to have you for sure. So we are really, really stoked to get to talk about all of this and anything you want to talk about. And we're going to kick it down to Bobby to talk about what he wants to hear about.
Oh, so look, other than M3 that Jay brought up, you guys, I had the great opportunity to photograph you with the legendary Mark Weiss. When we were at Monsters on the Mountain back August 19th. You were playing that night with Yngwie, Quiet Riot was there, Richie Kotzen, Autograph. It was you guys, Bad Marriage, Tango Down. Extreme was on that bill. But Brent, I want to get to you. So the band you were in prior to coming into Lillianaxe, and I hope I'm not butchering the name. Is it Neo Logos?
Oh, wow. I haven't heard that name in forever. Where'd you find that at?
Hey, look,
I guess you can find anything on Google.
I can find shit out on George Santos or whatever it is. Don't, if it's on the web, I will find it. There's probably naked baby pictures of you out.
Oh, you don't want to see those.
I got some right here. Hold
on. That is crazy. So when I was the drummer in that band, and when I moved,
what was it called?
Neo Logos.
What is that? Sound like an Italian play. Like, come over to Neo Logos.
I'm gonna have a Neo Logos tonight with a side of calamari and
right. But it was when I moved here, I moved here in 2000. I was playing drums in a band in Iowa when I moved, I was looking for something to get into. When I got here, I was really looking for a cover band that I could get into that was working a lot so I could make some money, Well, so I get down here and I put an ad in a paper or something that says, drummer looking for a established, cover band or something. Well, I get a call from this guy and he's like, well, we're looking for a drummer. I was like, well, what kind of music you play? Oh, we do all originals. I'm like, well, I said, well, and I kind of told him what my plan was, how I wanted to get into a working band so I could make money. I said, well, look, I'll come jam with you guys and see how it goes. It was like this, like goth rock kind of. Have you heard it?
Yeah, I've been, went back and dug into the catalog, which isn't bad, It's a little very Queensryche-ish.
It's kind of it was weird for me because I came from playing like pop rock, acoustic driven, and then prior to living in Iowa, I was listening to like the 80s hard rock before I moved there. But so when I came back here, it was like a goth kind of weird, and I'm like, well, I kind of dig the stuff they're writing. I said, well, and it gave me an opportunity to be creative as far as they told me whatever I wanted to do on the drums I could do, and I'm like, okay, well, so I'm like, all right, so. I did, and we recorded that little, I don't know, it was like I think I played on a CD we made. It was 6 or 7 tunes maybe, and we played it.
There's 2 of them. There's a demo out that you're on. That's like a 4-tune one, and which came out. If anybody wants, I'll throw the name up. It's Neo Logos. And there's a demo, and then there's another one that you guys did too.
Yeah, and see, this is funny because, well, we were playing gigs around New Orleans area. We played some along the Mississippi coast, and we'd go in and play, and there'd be like 5 people in the club. So at the end of the night, the guy would go, "Here you go, here's your money." It'd be like $20, and so I'm like, "Oh, geez," So after a little while of that, I was like, "Man, I just can't." I can't afford to come over here and rehearse once a week and then go to drive the Mississippi coast and make $20, $50. I said, I just can't do it. And but the band was good. And I really liked the creative aspect. I got to, kind of do my own thing as far as writing the drum parts. And
because he is a great drummer too, by the way. I mean, he plays guitar, drums, very talented all the way around. So it's cool because he'll check Wayne's drums for me and be like, "Is that Wayne on the kit?" No, that's
so we were doing the album release party at Southport Hall, and we did an acoustic set. We did. Wayne wasn't there, but the other 4.
You talking about us or Neo Logos?
No, I'm getting around to Neo Logos.
Oh, okay. we were getting lost here.
Right. We were doing, Lillian was doing the album release at Southport Hall, New Orleans. We played the acoustic set. Well, we got done, and I walk out in the crowd, and a guy taps me on the shoulder. He's like, "Brent." And I turn around, and it was the bass player from Neo Logos.
Wow.
All these years later, 22 years later, something like that. And he's like, "You remember me?" I said, "Yeah, Jonathan." And I hadn't seen the guy since, 2001, somewhere around there. And he handed me a Neo Logos CD, and he's like, "This is not the one that we recorded here, but some of the songs that you played on are on this CD. They must have did some other tracks and then had another drummer play on some, but pretty much it was a combo of greatest hits of the Neo Logos record catalog." And so I was like, "Man, this is great." And I've got it at home, and I popped it in and listened to it. I was like, "Oh man, I had fun doing that." But
he's never even told me about that. I've never even.
I bring out the look. Wait, before this show's over, you're going to find out other things. Oh my God! Brent did all these. Brent was a male model. He
right. I was about to say.
I never told you about that, did I?
He was, he was in a couple of movies with Ron Jeremy and.
He and the Weasel.
Oh no, he's like 6'4". Ron Jeremy's probably like 5'2". It'd be weird. But anyway, never mind. That was I digress.
So
Yeah,
I gotta
I was-
ask, going from that, my question is, what made you go from behind the kit, staring at everybody's butt, to being in front of the stage?
I wanted people staring at my butt.
There you go.
No. Well, this is what happened. Okay, I was playing.
We're
drums.
getting an exclusive tonight.
Right, exactly. This is exclusive for me too. Go ahead. Keep going.
Right. So I
Okay, the devil and Mrs. Dreyer.
I finally was able to get into a working cover band. I was playing drums, making some good money, and in the middle of a show here in town here, we were a 4-piece band, and I'm playing drums. Well, the singer and his wife get into a fight, like mid show. Okay, so they're you can just see it unfolding. I'm back here playing, and it's great. What an embarrassment, So on break, the singer comes up and tells us he was rhythm guitar and sang, and he's like, "I've got to save my marriage. I got to leave." No joke. Middle of the gig. So we're all like, "Well, what are we gonna do? The place is packed full." It was like a Mardi Gras parade weekend, and we were playing. So this is no joke, no shit. So he leaves, and the rest of us are like, "Well, we gotta finish the gig somehow." So I sang from behind the kit, and we finished the show as a 3-piece. Well, then the following week, we don't have a singer anymore. So they're like, "Well, dude, why don't you move up front and sing, and we'll find another drummer?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm in my comfort zone behind the kit. I kind of like being." He's like, "Well, dude, it's like it'd be easier to find a drummer than a singer." I'm like, "Well," I said, "I'll give it a try." And so there you go. I kind of got out from behind the kit, and then there was another band that was playing around here that needed a singer, and called the Dingbats. So I'm like, well, between the two, I can work enough to make a living. And so I was doing the Dingbats, and I was doing the other band.
They thought you were kind of a dingbat, so it won't work out.
So so I kind of got my confidence just being and the Dingbats.
Being a dingbat. There you go.
And this was funny because the Dingbats, these guys would drink a lot. Okay, and I admit, when I was in the band, I that was probably the most I've drank in my life.
You drank? I never knew you drank. See? It's all coming out.
See, watch. Tomorrow he'll be like, I didn't. He's like, tomorrow he'll be like, I didn't know you drank, man. You're out.
All right.
I didn't know you drank. I didn't know you played drums.
I know. What else?
No, but I don't. But just I got my confidence doing that, and then here we are. But and as a side note, I do not drink as much as I used to. Very rarely.
The only time I've ever seen him drink at all was when we were touring the UK a couple of months ago. But it was such a happy drunk. I mean, I'm used to like mean drunks. That's why it's like I don't even I can't deal with it. They were having so much fun.
Drink the good stuff.
What were y'all drinking? It was
we were just drinking.
Where were we?
We were in Sheffield. We had just played the 7th show in a row, and Sam, the other guitarist, he was sipping on like a draft beer. I said, "Well, look," I said, "I'm not going to drink until I don't have any more shows, because I just want to make sure I got through singing all the shows before I started drinking." So I said, "After we play this last show, though, I'm going to have some beer." And so
we all had a lot of beers.
We finished our set in Sheffield, and I had a few there, and then we went back to the hotel, and we must have sat in the little lounge there and drank for a while.
They were funny though. It was good. It didn't bother me because they were funny.
But that's probably the most I've drank in a long time. Just I don't know. I kind of felt like, man, after doing 7 in a row, I just need to unwind a little bit, But so,
well, let me tell you,
this is how feelings of absinthe really came about.
Yeah, right. Yeah. They were at the shoot. They were like, "Hey, can we get some real absinthe?" I'm like, "No way. That's a hallucinogenic. You don't want that." So let me tell you,
I got a scar on this belly from that stuff. That stuff will eat a hole right through you.
What? Are you serious?
Oh yeah, dude! It put me in the it ate right through my stomach. Well, you don't drink half a bottle.
Oh, okay.
But I did see God.
So that song is. That I never knew anybody that even had absinthe before. That's
I
pretty good.
smuggled it back from Prague in dirty underwear.
I've got three bottles of absinthe in my kitchen over there.
Do you? Is it green?
Mm.
Yeah.
Is that like that? It used to be with wormwood, correct? Back they used.
Yeah,
to,
yeah. The overseas stuff is with wormwood. Mine's not with wormwood, but it is 136 proof.
And is it a licorice type flavor to it?
Yep, 100%.
Gotcha.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So we write a song called "Feelings of Absinthe," written by a guy that doesn't drink at all, because the whole idea is feelings of absinthe is like that fake power that the power hungry in our universe get that fake bravado from being a narcissist and having power and money. So the feelings of absinthe, but they're all fake in the long run. So, but I have a story about Brent. So when he was doing Sledgehammer with us, do you guys remember that show on NBC? It had one season. It was called Constantine.
Yes.
You remember that show several years ago? Well, we're on episode number 10. There were 13 episodes. So episode 10 is Lily. We're there. We're Lillianaxe playing as Lillianaxe, and we're playing a live show in a club, and it catches on fire. And how many? What did they say? 47 people in the script died. So we're the band there, but our singer at the time, Brian, was going through some stuff, personal stuff, and canceled the photo. They were talking about NBC, like flying us into Atlanta to shoot for 2 days to be on, an NBC show in front of millions of people, and he canceled. So we had to come up with something quick and called Brent right now. Will you fill in because we're going on as Lillian. It's not Lillianaxe acting as another band. We're on there with our logo, and they introduce us, and the crowd goes wild, and we start playing, and the pyrotechnics go off, and it catches the club on fire, and all these people die, and Constantine has just left the building right there. So that's how he ties into it, because he was there. But at that time when Brent did that fill-in, I just realized I watched how he handled being under pressure. I mean, we had to shoot 2 days in a row on this stage with imagine this is a major production. They blocked off 3 or 4 city blocks for this. And we're on stage. I had just had rotator cuff surgery 2 days before. So I'm in a sling, and they had to Velcro my arm to my body so that when
you
we
were in a
jumped off
sling?
the stage. Yeah,
I've been in one.
You look at it, but it's covered. I have a jacket, but we have to jump off the stage because it's on fire. And I have to jump off, and I've got stitches in my arm and a reconstructed arm here. But fortunately, my arm was Velcroed in the position where I'm playing, right? So
yeah,
we have to jump off the stage. They catch it on fire. There's 10 fire marshals. There is a guy who had to be our other guitar player, Sam. They had to use a stunt double for him, so he didn't get to do the shoot because the stunt double actually was put fully on fire, and he had to he had to portray Sam, and we couldn't use Sam unless we wanted to light him on fire, which we didn't want to do. So it was a very intense thing. But I watched Brent, how he handled being in those situations, how he worked with the director and the people in the show, and right then I always knew that this guy, if ever situation comes up, he's the next guy in line. So we had, history back then. I always had him in the back of my mind.
Oh, wow.
Well, Bobby,
Steve, I gotta jump in. Oh no, go ahead, Brett.
I was going to ask Bobby, did you Google Lillianaxe Constantine?
Well, I gotta show you. So
Hold on 1 second.
here we go.
There's
Hold
some
on.
feelings of absinthe right there.
Oh,
Hold on, Bobby. Give me 1 second.
come on.
I gotta concentrate.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So, but you have to drink it with this. So this is a glass, and I got them there. They're called bottoms up glasses. So if you can see on it, as you notice, you can't put the glass this way. So when you do a shot,
That you're acting like, oh well, I'm gonna do this for everybody's benefit instead of like,
Yeah.
you're just doing this to help everybody out, right?
Yeah.
And as you can see,
trying to educate.
He's
yeah.
taking one for the fans. Okay. All right.
taking a lot for a lot of people.
Chug it.
Oh,
Nice.
oh my God. I don't have my lighter here either.
That's like 70% alcohol, right?
Oh,
What else is in there?
Oh yeah.
what else is in it?
Wormwood and what?
Jesus juice.
Jesus.
Oh,
So real quick before I kick it down to Angel, let me Steve, Brent, let me interject real quick, because coming off of that story, I feel we actually have to discuss something real quick, because I think it's kind of important, and I'm curious about your guys' take on this. So being in Constantine, which I was familiar with you guys being in because I'm a fan of the band. So you guys being the house band. Nice. So hold on a second, Bobby. Let me
He's tripping out over there.
Well,
You better get a hold of him.
I know, seriously.
So we called
While
911.
you're shaking it off, Bobby, let me jump in for a quick second, because I unfortunately I got to take this semi-serious for a second. So you guys being, the house band on this show, playing a gig in a club that catches fire with people dying in our community, that's a real taboo situation that really did happen.
Yeah.
That unfortunately a member of our community is still, and I mean a musician of our community is still suffering with that to this day, as well as, of course, many, many victims and family of victims that are still suffering to this day. Steve, Brent, if you guys don't mind me asking, did you receive any backlash, any insensitive reactions, or did you guys yourselves have any reactions to the script, knowing that this is what they wanted you guys to portray, especially with that kind of situation already being in the rock world?
No, actually, not even one person even brought it up. I mean, we realized that too. And the way that we looked at it is like situations, if there's always going to be a relatable situation to any kind of catastrophe or scenario like that. And so that I was prepared to hear some of, maybe some people said, well, man, why did you do that? That show was going to go on, that was part of the script, that they wanted to do that, and how Constantine would come in and basically try to, make the situation better, and I don't know exactly, because to be honest with you, I always, after we watched that, I watched through it maybe one time all the way through, so I couldn't even tell you the rest of the plot.
Hey, Steve, go back a little bit. So parlay on it, because I missed a little bit. So you guys were doing a video or show?
Oh yeah,
we were doing a live show.
Bobby, you had stepped away for your bottle at that time. Yeah, so go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, we were the script, the storyline was that this nightclub catches on fire.
Ooh.
and we have to, as a matter of fact, somebody in our band actually got caught on fire too. So that was part of the script, and Constantine was there, and his involvement in it with I don't know if it was done on purpose. I don't even remember what the actual cause of the fire was from. I think it was supposedly maybe something had gone wrong with pyro in the club or whatnot. But it was similar to the horrible situation that had occurred before.
Yeah.
And so, and it was brought to our attention. We talked to him about it and stuff. They said, well, listen, you can take any scenario and there's going to be a relatable story to it. Any horror, tragedy, just like watching CSI right now, and somebody gets, something happens to a child or somebody gets murdered. There's always going to be history that's going to be relatable to something like that. So we asked around, and just kind of, we were sensitive to it, but nobody didn't have any feedback. Nobody said no. That's, that doesn't make you look like you didn't care about it. As a matter of fact, it makes you look like you do care about it, that you're, bringing this bad situation relatively to some people's attention, if anything. So,
for sure.
But it's a good question, though.
Mm-hmm.
No, for sure. And it, yeah, I mean, one of my dearest friends, Scotty Dunbar, is a survivor of that situation. And Jack has become a friend over the years. He and I periodically keep in touch, nothing over the top, but always, anytime I can go to the show, say hi to my friend, I always try to do so. But also last year, they finally released that long in works, documentary that they had been doing about it, where they talk with a lot of the families, survivors, right. Jack, and members of the band and stuff like that. So
we actually back. We did 2.5 months on the road with Jack Russell. Great, his version. Oh, wow. Yeah, and that was after that too. So that was a horrendous scenario. Hopefully, comfort to those who suffered, and thank the good Lord that we haven't had a situation like that since. That Absolutely. Situation also put the attention on venue owners to be more responsible about the potential of those things happening. Unfortunately, sometimes those things have to occur to have changes made that should have been made in the first place.
Well, wasn't there a documentary that came out, I don't know, 3 years ago? Are you talking about something that just recently came out about that?
Yeah. I think it was last year that it was on TV, and it was I believe it was on like Vice or Reels or something. It was on one of those channels that specializes in documentaries.
Yeah, I think it was on Reels. I was just wondering if there was something else that came out, because my wife and I watched, I think, the one you're talking about. And, it interviewed the club owners. I think there was it two brothers that owned the club or something like that. And, tragic on all aspects, and my wife and I watched that. It's pretty rough, but, just pray that nothing ever happens like that again.
Oh, absolutely. No, 100%. So yeah, when you were talking about Constantine, I was kind of like, I was like, that's a crazy situation. And and again, as long as they treated you guys well, and, I have no reason to believe that they didn't treat other like cast members or the writer, I just mean like the writers and stuff like that. I was like, that's a tricky, and to a certain degree, kind of that's a daring, scenario to write into the script, at least just in general, especially with, a band like yourselves who are very much a part of that scene with that band.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there was discussion about it, and, we felt it, we reached out and we had no backlash. People, know what we, how we felt about the situation. And even with the writers on Constantine and the actors, no, they were nothing but professional and good to us. So
absolutely, for sure.
Let's go a little bit happy on this. So let's talk about the last album you guys just did. We'll get off the doom and gloom now for a little bit, but from the womb to the tomb.
Yeah, that's a lot more happy. From womb to tomb.
Yeah. Anything about a womb, we love the womb. We all came from it.
It's a very, very powerful, uplifting album. It really is. I mean, you say the word tomb, but that's just a play on words. But it's a very, very positive album.
And I got to ask you, where the hell did the title? Well, we kind of know, how did it come about?
To be honest with you, I had the title in my head for many years. I probably like 10, 15 years ago. I don't know if I heard it somewhere or if I was playing around in my head with words and came up with it. I don't remember. I don't know if I'm the, inventor of the phrase, but because I honestly don't remember where it came from. But I've had it in my head forever, and I knew that one day it would fit somewhere. But the album it's basically, I hate to use the term concept album because it gives, certain images of, an album that's, just telling one little story, like whatever. It just doesn't do justice to what the whole essence of the record. So, but it's kind of a concept in that there is a timeline to it. It's obviously the first thing you hear when you put the record on is the heartbeat of an unborn child, an actual unborn child's heartbeat. The first song is called Breathe. It's about birth, when that child breaks the plane and becomes an entity, a living, breathing entity, which it is earlier than that too, but when it meets the world. And then it goes into I Am Beyond's the first song. And what I wanted to do was take the segments, if I could segment my life into like basically 12 to 15 sections from, birth to 2 years old, 2 to 6, 6 to 10, and take these lessons that I have learned in these important parts of the life and go back into how did I feel at that time? Because although my journey might be, everybody's journey is different, these main ideas and lessons, I think, are similar in everybody's life. We all have a childhood. Some are, we're all different, but we all have that time in our life when we realized that we weren't kids anymore, when we found true love, when we realized the evil existed, when we had kids, when we moved on, when we realized that there's a lot of bad people, when we realized that being stronger as an individual is what you have to strive to be. And then when you go to the end of the record, the last 3 tracks on there are probably the most emotionally powerful songs I've ever heard in my life. It's Finally Clarity, which talks about that time in your life when you get as much clarity as a human being can get, looking back on his life and understanding that, you know what? We're not supposed to understand everything right now. This is just the start of our journey. Just realize that we're not smart enough to know. And then the next song is From the Mountaintops, which is about the path, the actual human being passing and dying. And then Ascension is about being raised into heaven. And if you can listen to those 3 tracks cranked up and not have a tear, I mean, I have sat in the car with close friends of mine who are about as manly as you get, and they're crying. They have tears coming down their eyes. It's really emotional. If you get it, it'll purge your soul to hear those last 3 tracks. And so that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to have the emotion of an entire lifetime.
Steve, I also want to throw out to you guys about Global Rock Records, your label that you're on now. You got a couple great artists on there with you. It's not just you, but it's if anybody remembers, what is it, Impeteri, who did Standing in Line and all
Pelletary, Chris Pelletary, Yep.
Mm-hmm. It was all during the whole period of he and who was it? Metal Blade was out back then, and Mike Varney's Shrapnel. It was you guys were out right about that. How did you get hooked up with this label?
The A&R man for that label, Giles Lavery, was kind of like internet friends with Wayne, our drummer. And then when he found out Wayne had become the new drummer in the band, he said, well, man, he said, I would love to sign. We're starting a new boutique side of store for music, which is one of the largest. They do reissues and live albums.
Yeah.
But they wanted to start a new label, Global Rock Records, that would sign new bands. And so when he found out that Wayne had joined the band, he was like, oh my God, we'd love to sign Lillian as the first signing to the band. So they did. And they also painstakingly, working with me, got the opportunity to reissue the whole catalog. So then we put out Psalms for Eternity, which is a 3 CD set that we released around last summertime, which is uniquely put together. It's 3 CDs of stuff from our past catalog. The first CD, it's Fire, or how did I have Fire, Earth, and Sea. The first CD is all of the, if you would say, the singles or the hits from each of the record, the one that would be like maybe the most popularly known. The second CD is we took a deep track from each of the albums, and it's chronologically from present going backwards to the first album. And then the third CD is a ballad from each of the records.
Wow.
And there's a couple of bonus tracks on each one. And the cover is the universe with an obelisk in the middle of it.
Yeah.
With all of the album covers like engraved into the obelisk. Have you ever seen the movie Contact? With
Yes.
Jodie Foster. Remember that scene where, there you go, that's the cover. That scene in Contact where she's on that beach out in space somewhere, and they have the beautiful scene of the heavens, and she looks up into the heavens. It's one of the most amazing cinematography moments that I've ever seen in a movie. And that inspired me to have this fantastic, beautiful purple and blue and all these beautiful hues of the entire universe. And if we were to put a time capsule together, what would we put together in 3 CDs to send off to somebody in 1,000 years to dig up, to find out who is this band, what are they about? That's what we wanted this album to be, kind of a time capsule. Because with 10 albums, it's kind of hard to do on 3 CDs. You know, it's tough to fit. We have problems every night picking the set list because we have too much. And every time we put out there, hey guys, what do y'all want to hear live? Every single song's mentioned at least once or twice. So we just have to go with our gut on that. But so that's they put that album out, and then the whole catalog has been reissued. We just had a vinyl deal that was signed, a subcontract deal kind of thing, and all the albums are coming out on vinyl now. So
Nice.
it's really been great to us. Now Giles, the A&R guy, has just become the band's manager. So he's managing us.
That's great. Yeah, I look, I clicked on the link, and there's one link that took me to a, what is it? The storeformusic.com.
Yeah.
And you can get it, I guess it's in Italy. So
No, it's in the UK.
Is
the
it?
label's in the UK.
Yeah, they're doing signed albums of, you guys from the womb to the tomb with everybody in the band signing it.
Yes, we did lots of signings. As a matter of fact, the first, how many was it? It was the first 200 people to buy the album got a personal thank you video from me.
Really?
We love our
on vinyl.
we like
So-
our OG vinyl too. We love that everything's
Nice.
getting re-released, and then because Steve is such an awesome, genuine dude.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool, man. So let me tell you something. Whenever your manager says, what can we do for like the first 200 people to buy the new album? What can you do to make it special for them, to get them to, to get everybody pumped up? I'll do a personal video for each one of them. And I was like, at first, I think I told him like the first 300 people. He goes, no, you can't do that. It'll take you a week to do that. I'm like, no, I can do it. Right. So I said, all right, I'll compromise. I'll do 200. It took forever to do those videos. But I emailed every one of the first 200 people to buy the record. Hey man, this is Steve. Thanks so much. And I meant it. It was really cool to be able to do that. But it took forever to do that. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know if anybody else would do that. I don't know if Axl Rose would do that,
Axl, oh please, he'd be about 4 hours late. There would be a thing. Lars would lose his arm because he would be in fire.
Yeah, something would happen. But I did it. It was fun. We love that stuff. I'm going to tell you, man. Been doing this a very long time.
All right, I guess I got to have another.
Have another one, man.
Well, let me jump in real quick, Bobby. I got to turn it over to Angel. The fans have been more than patient. So let's steer it over to Angel for any questions that the fans have put into the comments.
Bottoms up, Angel.
Let's see what expletives he has for us on this shot.
Pepsi better pay us for this.
Oh!
We're gonna have to send a wellness check over for Bobby here in a little while.
We're gonna have to call 911.
That's funny.
Just a reaction, kids.
Doesn't seem to be moving.
Oh my
Don't,
God, that
kids,
sucks.
don't do this. What is this? You okay, Bobby?
Yeah.
Can
We're
you talk?
trained professionals, kids.
There you go.
How many fingers am I holding up?
He's not even paying attention.
Fuck.
Go ahead, Angel. Pump in some questions, my guy.
Bobby always does this.
Yes.
He was waiting for an excuse to drink absinthe. Until
Absinthe and Funyuns.
Oh yeah, can't go wrong with
That's
one.
not going
Good
to
thing
work.
we didn't talk
But
about
it's
that
gonna-
song we wrote about crack. No.
It's going to be fun to see if this works.
Go ahead, man. Let's see.
Somebody wants to know what's the best part about being a musician.
The best part about being a musician. What do you enjoy the most? I will tell you this. There's a lot. I'll tell you what's the toughest parts. Recording albums is tough because it's tedious. All the things that go along with up until that, 2 hours you're on stage. It's tedious. Sound check.
Producers
hanging
like
around.
me who go, you can do that better. And how did you like that track?
Yeah. All the stuff in between the performance and the final mix is emotionally tough if you really take it seriously. One part that I really like more than anything is being out there and meeting the people that you've touched in certain ways with your music. I love doing that. As you can tell, we love doing. We do meet and greets all the time. Life is pretty much a meet and greet in many cases. When I go out in public around here, I'll meet a couple of people a day that are fans of the band. My son will be with me and he'd be like, man, Dad, that's so cool. That's so neat, that you get to meet people that care about your music and like you. And I use that to teach them lessons on humility and kindness and excelling at what you do and trying anything you do. It doesn't matter if you're a musician or if you work at the hardware store, be the best you can be.
Let's be honest. Do you tell your son, look, their dad sucks. They just sit at home.
No, not at all.
No.
Because, and I know you're kidding, but no, I teach him that it doesn't matter if you play music. It doesn't matter what you do in your life. Everybody has a different talent. Everybody has a different goal. Different things that they do. Everybody is equally the same, but what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. That's what I teach him. I teach him, I don't care if you're the president of the United States or, digging ditches. Doesn't matter. Be the best that you can and be kind to other people at the same time. So
bullshit. He goes to school and brags and goes, my dad plays guitar.
Let me tell you something. He really, honestly, look, he didn't even get it until about 5 years ago. We were driving around and, he's 13 now. So he was like 7 or 8. And we're driving in a car and Eddie Trunk's show was on. We were listening to it. And some guy called in and said his favorite band was Lillianaxe, talking to Eddie by. And he goes, Dad, they're talking about you on the radio. I said, son, I've been telling you this since you've been born, that I play music and, I've toured and traveled. And this, he didn't even he didn't care. He's like, Dad, you're just dad. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that's really cool now because he's got his own little fan base because we talk about him and all. We went out the other day and 2 separate people came up and they're like, oh, Steve, nice to meet you. Jude, you're famous. We love you. Congratulations on baseball. They like him way better than me. He's a lot cooler than I am, man.
See, when I go out to Target, people run into me and say, "You're that guy from Neo Logos."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're the drummer. You're the guy who stood staring at everybody's butt.
You're the Neo Logo. But the great part about it is, honestly, to get back to the question, is knowing that you are able to to influence people's lives. Music is such a powerful thing. And over the last, our first album came out in what year was that? 88. It's a lot of time and a lot of music. And if I could just tell you guys how many emails and people I've met and stories how songs and lyrics have saved people from doing horrible things to themselves, have helped them out with grief when they've been through rough times. I hear it so much, and it's just like, it really gives me a wake-up call to say that, that I have a certain responsibility to be honest and true, because people are listening and they care about this. And with just creating the right music and lyrically portraying what I'm trying to say, it really means when these guys, when they hear him singing things, it's not just a guy singing. He's listened to his emotion and he means it, and being able to reach people and change people's lives to a small degree, even if it's just making somebody happy for 5 minutes. That's a huge accomplishment, and it means a hell of a lot. It really does.
Have you ever played at the old Hammerjacks in Baltimore?
Yes. We did 2 of our albums in Phoenix, Maryland. So when I was in the studio, working on the record every day for 3 months, the other guys would come in, do their tracks, go to Hammerjacks. They lived there. That was like the watering hole for lillianaxe during Poetic Justice and Psycho albums. But we did play there a couple of times. We did our last show we toured with Accept. We did a co-headline thing for like nice. 2 months with Accept. And the last night, there's a balcony over the stage. When they were doing Balls to the Wall, we dropped 1,000 ping pong balls on top of heads from the balcony. I don't know if they thought it was funny like everybody else did, but it was the last show of the tour. So Hammerjacks was a great place. Everybody played there.
And before we get to my question, hold on. Do this real quick. Of course, we got to buy merch. Let me see if it pops up.
Where you at? Merch.
How's that buzz, Bobby?
It's not supposed to.
Hey,
but...
it's going good. So, real quick,
okay.
Angel's figuring that one out. You guys are on MCA. MCA, let's do the math. Leonard Skinner. Oh my God. First thing that comes to mind, how did you guys wind up on that label?
Well, we were asked to do some shows with Rat and Queensryche and Poison. There you go. There's our merch. There it is.
Nice.
Thank you very much. Good job, Angel.
All right, Angel, go back to you, and then we'll come back to this.
So we did 5 shows as an unsigned band because we were drawing like hundreds of people. We could play Lafayette, Louisiana on Wednesday night, and 500-600 people would show up.
Wow.
We were just, all we were missing was the label. So we got asked to do these 5 shows. And after 2 of the shows, Marshall Burl, who was managing Rat, called me at home and asked me, "Hey, Steve," it was early in the morning because he woke me up. He said, "It's Marshall Burl." I knew who he was, obviously, he managed Rat. He said, "Hey, man, do you want a record deal?" Exact words. And I was like, "Yes, sir. I would like a record deal. That'll be fine." And so he was...
Jay, nice pussy.
I've heard that from more than one person.
Now the damn thing pops up.
There it is. Look at that. Yeah. Oh, and they're missing the brand new 3/4 sleeve baseball from Womb to Tomb
we
t-shirt.
love our 3/4.
Yeah, but it's on the website. It's selling for $30 to $35. You can also get that hat for $25.
We got hats. We got my own beard oil. No, the beard oil is not on there.
And if you
could use it as lube. I want the Neo logo shirt.
I'm trying to promote merch.
So anyway, back to MCA. We got signed by Irving Azoff, who was the president at the time, and he left the label before the album even came out. So we were in the lump of bands that MCA promised the world to and got screwed over.
Really?
We toured with Alice Cooper a couple of times. And I remember one time he and I were having a conversation. He told me how badly MCA treated him. So I figured I was in good company. If they treated him horribly, then I didn't feel too bad about it. But Elton John was on MCA for an album you probably never heard of. And was it something with Reg's Back or something like that? And they just, I don't know what they were thinking, but we heard all the lip service, and they dropped the ball on us on, Love and War album. You ask a lot of people, should have been immensely commercially popular. It should have been the one that really broke us well. But they were too busy. Yep, there you go. They were too busy trying to figure out what to do, because they had the power, they had the money. They could have put us on better tours. They could have done, we could have done more videos. It's just, we weren't the only ones, though. There were a lot of other bands that were treated horribly there too. So, but we're here. They're not.
Did you just see that from a guest? Somebody brought up about you and Rat, so they wanted to know about.
Can you tell us a story? Yeah.
Well, that's how we start off. We do those shows with Rat, and then Robin Crosby had seen the band, and he wanted to get into producing, and he loved the band. So Marshall said, Robin wants to produce your first album. And so, I was like, we were in our mid-20s. We were just kids, and we were like, Robin Crosby wants to produce? Absolutely. So he flew down. The great part about Robin, besides being a great individual, he was just such a kind person. Yeah. But he didn't come in and try to change us. He was like, I don't want to change you guys. The arrangements are good. We're just going to fine tune, and we're going to go out and bring out the best in the band. And that's what he did. And Paul Winger, who was Kip Winger's brother, engineered the album. And Paul and the third Winger brother, Nate, who I believe recently passed away, the two of them sang a lot of the harmonies on that album.
Wow.
That was the only album that I didn't sing all the harmonies on. And they did, and you can even hear it sounds a little Wingerish on some of the harmonies on that first album. They came in and they sing. Those guys sing like Kip does. It was amazing. And it was a real laid back, fun experience. It was our first time in the studio, doing a full record like that. So it was a great learning experience. But it was great. Robin was fantastic. He definitely. Well, I sure miss the guy. I wish he was still around.
Yeah. I got to say one thing. We're going back, and all of a sudden, I see Brent's naked knee.
The snake right there.
I hope that's his knee.
Pretty neat.
I'm like sitting there going, wow. I thought my absence was kicking in. I'm
what? I think there's wormwood in that absence. I really do.
I need to have another shot.
Oh, dude.
Oh, here's something else, man. Look, guys, I forgot about
it's going to be the countdown to Bobby.
The new Steve Blaze doll.
Oh, my God.
Hold on 1 second.
The Steve Blaze doll.
Hold on, this is where I got it.
You like
That's
that?
me.
There it is.
There.
You like that? Pretty cool, huh?
Wait. Steve.
Yes, sir.
It's not like a Ken doll or anything. It's not like a hermaphrodite or anything, right?
Oh no, this one's this one's pretty big. He's got pretty big biceps on this doll here.
I'm not worried about the biceps.
This one's all man, Bobby.
It's all man.
I've seen trannies with biceps. I'm not
It's the Steve Blaze tripod.
Somebody said it looks like the Undertaker. Actually, it is the Undertaker. I got this at a Comic-Con. Somebody said, "Wait, you have your own doll?" And I'm like, "Where?"
But
and
the
it
most
was
important thing is,
I had to buy it.
But people believe that it was you.
I know.
I thought it was you.
A kid in an airport once asked me if I was the Undertaker. I was like, no, he's about a foot taller than I am.
Look, if you keep lying, they'll make you a congressman.
There you go. I think politics was in my career at one point, possibly.
I think he still had a future in politics.
I think so. I'd get a few votes.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. I wouldn't put up with what's going on out there. That's the problem.
I say we have another drink.
Jesus Lord, 3 shots of that?
I think that's
No, yeah, that's 4.
He's not even using the cup anymore. He's going right from the bottom.
No, he gave up on the cup.
You're gonna need
Yeah,
more
it's-
Funyuns, Bobby.
Yeah, it's
These guys
definitely
are
going to be.
online. If I black out, they help me. They call
That's
Tony.
good.
Oh, he's on the floor again.
We should
Somebody's
just call
asking-
Tony and we're like, hey, Tony, come in and give Bobby a shake.
Yeah, wake him up. He's dead.
Go ahead, Angel.
No, just from Kim. Has Todd bought that upgraded camera equipment yet, so he can resume the Love and War show?
Okay, the Love and War show for you guys out there is a podcast that I have with Todd Schmidt. Todd is the band's videographer, cinematographer, photographer, does everything for us. He's the one that shot and directed and edited the I'm Beyond video. He's same thing with my documentary for the Ghost Hunting show, and he's the one that just shot Feelings of Absence video. He's amazing, and he's my co-host on our podcast. We have a podcast called The Love and War Show. There were 40 episodes. You can see them on YouTube, but we haven't done it in over a year. The year of COVID was the last time we did it. Basically, just because so many other things came up and we wanted to upgrade. So now we're actually talking to a production company that has a full-out podcast studio about resuming the Love and War show. If you guys get a chance, go watch it. It's 2 hours long, 40 episodes, and it's funniest stuff you'll ever see. It's just us being idiots. We have love tips. My mom calls in. She's 78. She calls in and gives advice to people on everything, and it's hilarious. My son has joke of the week. Al comes on. Al's our stage manager. He dresses up as a different singer every week, and he sings, and I play acoustic guitar while he attempts to pretty much destroy lots of rock bands. Like one week he's Freddie Mercury, and he has like the fake wig and the costume on, and we're doing Queen songs, and we butcher it up. It's funny stuff. So that's the Love and War show. Go check it out on YouTube. And they're asking also about the Man Cave show. Brent and I, during the COVID time, that was one of the things that we did for we said it's only going to be an hour. It wound up being like 2 hours. We did acoustic stuff in my man cave, and we'd play forever. And you couldn't even pry us off of the camera because we just loved it. But we would do acoustic Lillian, then we started doing cover songs, and the next thing you know, we're taking questions, and we had a lot of fun with that. So we talked about bringing the Man Cave show back again. So both of those will be hopefully coming back on the air in the next few months or so.
Yeah, Bobby has a man cave. It'll be fun to bring him on as a guest.
He's in his man cave right now. Yeah.
No, this is my studio.
Oh, you have a studio and a man cave.
I have a lot. Well, the man cave's downstairs, but so wait, we haven't done this route. Look, we know Brent loves his wood, holding 2 sticks in his hand. But Steve,
Yeah.
I gotta bring it out right now.
Oh Lord.
We're going on to the episode. How good do you know your wood, buddy?
How good do I know my wood?
Yes.
Is that a trick question or is that?
No, I'm bringing
It's
I am going to bring guitars out.
Oh,
guitar
okay,
segment of
that-
the show.
That kind of wood. I'm not going to bring look, that's in my bedroom. I'll bring that other wood
Oh,
out.
okay. I didn't know if it was a
If
perv
I bring
question.
wood out, I need to know how good do you know your wood?
God, well, how do you answer that? I guess pretty good. I mean, it's never failed me. I mean, my guitars have never failed
I'm
me.
going to reach over here
Hold on one second.
very closely.
Oh, very nice.
And I'm going to ask you, how good do you know your wood?
Well, you probably have to send that to me. Let me play it a couple of years first.
Well, I'm just going to say it this way. It's, Babe was a big blue ox, but this one is
That's beautiful.
his blood.
Is that like a blood red color? It's hard to tell, really.
But
like
it was owned by somebody who ended as a lover.
What?
Ended
up your lover?
No, ended as a lover. But sometimes he's on a freeway jam.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Are you giving me clues?
Yes, I am.
He's trying. He basically
Freeway jam.
He's trying to get you to predict.
What?
Guess what?
It would be like your wife doing a blow by blow. If
what? That's Jeff Beck's guitar?
It's one of Jeff's.
Really?
Oh.
Wow.
Ox blood.
That is awesome.
50.
Would y'all like to hear my Jeff Beck story?
Oh yeah.
No, I don't have it. I will tell you, this is the closest I ever got. The gentleman who engineered and co-produced Poetic Justice and Cycloschizophrenia, named Leif Masis.
Okay.
Leif engineered Jimmy Page's Outrider album. He's worked with ABBA, Sabbath. Anyway,
that's a big ballpark right there. When you go from ABBA to Sabbath, you're going
here, right? So he engineered Jeff Beck's Guitar Shop album, right?
Great
so
album.
There's the song "Where Were You" on
yes.
there? Okay, now if you listen to that, he does all these really, really pretty, 3-note runs, but it's the tone more than anything and the melody. But you hear this reverb that just trails out, and it takes the note and it just widens it into this universe of reverb. It's beautiful, right? So one night on Poetic Justice, there's an instrumental track called Digital Dreams. So I took an acoustic guitar and I put just the high octave 12 strings on it. And I said, man, I want to just write something ambient. And so it was late at night. We should have gone home, but Leif and I were there in the studio. We turned out all the lights in the studio. So just the SSL console, all the lights on there were on. We felt like we were in a spaceship. So I started playing this and I said, man, we've got to find the perfect reverb delays or whatever to make these notes ring. And he says, well, listen to this. And he put "Where Were You" on, and I listened to the reverb. I said, oh my God, yes. So he said, this is the reverb we use. And we had that in. It's a lexicon unit. So he dialed up the same exact reverb that he used with Jeff Beck on that "Where Were You" track.
Wow.
We put it on Digital Dreams. And if you listen to Digital Dreams and hear the reverb, we were in there with just the lights on late at night. It was so really magical.
Where can people hear that right now?
Yeah, go to Poetic Justice album, Digital Dreams. It's a short instrumental track.
Wow.
On the album.
Look, losing Jeff last week was, just seeing the compliments and everything from everybody on that. And you bringing that up is, amazing. I just talked to Jennifer Batten, and she and I were going back and forth, and she's like,
Yeah, losing him and Eddie Van Halen in the same span of a year or two, it's pretty unfortunately, man, guys, the older we get, the more people are going to be passing. You just that's why it's like, appreciate what we have here right now. Appreciate these guys, appreciate your musicians and your friends and your family now, because you never know. We're not promised tomorrow.
That is true.
Wait, I'm going to bring a couple other ones out here for you. Look,
He's really
we're going to go this way.
Wow.
Hold on one second.
That is awesome, brother.
Damn, I like the color.
What is that? It was like 2 toggles, 4.
Well, it's number 3. And if, sometimes you won't get fooled again.
Oh, wow. I'd really have to be pretty ignorant if I didn't get that one. Is that really a Pete Townsend guitar? Where do you get these guys' guitars? Where do you find these?
I don't have stretch marks around my lips for nothing.
when
Okay, well, I'm sure. Please don't pull out one of my guitars, okay?
when they leave their equipment trailer unlocked, that's how he gets
Look, somebody, I know how to be a drag groupie.
There you go. He's gonna pull out one of my Charvels next. I'm going, whoa!
Wouldn't that be crazy if he pulled out one that was in your garage and all of a sudden he's holding up one that, hey, didn't I just play that earlier today? Bobby, he's showing up with
These guys are like sitting there, like, oh
Steve,
my god.
So, Steve, we're going to go a little deep in the crevice right now and see how good you are on this one.
Oh my lord.
So, this is it's a Washburn,
Right?
and I gotta say, this person didn't have a penis.
Well, you gave it away already.
Wow.
Female guitarist.
Yeah, because there's only one person on the planet that doesn't have one of those. Wait.
And she was very bad, I have to say.
And you
Jennifer
mentioned her
Batten?
name earlier. Yep.
Yeah, Jennifer Batten. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Jennifer's that she used on the Bad tour.
Oh, really? Okay, that's nice. I didn't know she played Washburn.
Yeah, because it's got, and as you notice, it's got a Roland synth in it.
Oh, very nice.
Bobby had to do other things for that guitar because his stretch marks around his mouth need not apply.
Well, Jennifer put a strap on.
Oh my lord, help me.
So this might be tough.
This may be. Oh, Warren D. Martini?
No, you might have the blues.
What?
I've never seen that one.
And he was on Mr. Shrapnel's label.
Blues Saraceno?
Yes.
Whatever happened to him?
He's doing music movies.
Okay.
So
Yeah, he was a great player. Yep.
Yeah.
wait.
You did a good job on the Crack a Smile album.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Oh, wait a second.
I think he's looking for your guitar.
You got yeah, right.
No, this one's gonna really hurt him because he fucking won't figure it out.
Husband ordered her because.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, you got some nice guitars there, man.
Hey,
You play?
I'm not just a drunk. I do play guitars.
What you got any hint? Because there's several people that could.
Oh no, there's only one guy who played this.
Shanker?
No, it's got a.
Same
It's
thing I
got,
was thinking.
look, I'm gonna say it's not a Lou Ferrigno. It's a Bill Bixby.
It's a build.
It's got a Bixby on it.
It's got a Bigsby. Okay, got you. Yeah.
And
Angel, you got a clue
name
for me,
is
man? 'Cause
After
he's
Mr. Mac,
I am clueless.
Lonnie would hate you for this.
who?
Lonnie Mac.
Lonnie Mac.
Lonnie
Oh,
Mac.
Help me. Wait, the name's familiar.
You don't
Lonnie
know
Mac.
who Lonnie Mac is?
I don't know. Maybe I do, but tell me.
Oh my God! Fucking Lonnie Mac, best blue. Came out 50s, 60s.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, that's
I'm sorry, man. I got 4 out of 5. Cut me some slack.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
what's worse, algebra or this quiz?
This quiz? Oh, this quiz for sure, man. Give me
got
my algebra.
endless
At least you
guitar
can cheat in algebra.
Oh, no, here he is. All right, you got a piece of puzzle.
Damn, just shoot me.
Well,
Give me a hint, because it doesn't.
well, the guy who built these is in Meridian, Mississippi.
That's a PV.
Of course.
Okay, I've
And
never.
sometimes it was, a little quiet at night. It might have been still of the night.
That's a Vandenberg.
Yes, Adrian.
Yeah, I'm endorsed by PV. I play their amps. I'm there all the time. Fred Poole, the head of product development for PV, is on my ghost hunting team.
Tell Cortland to go fuck himself.
I never see him. I see Hartley when I'm there.
Ah,
All right. Have another shot there, Bobby.
I will.
Angel, let's kick it back over to you, man. Let's get some more fans going.
What are your plans for?
One last wood.
One more? All right, Bobby.
And I know this is going to be tough because this guy is no longer with this company. And I'll put it this way: either is his keyboard player.
Is that Neil Schoen?
Yes.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yes, it's Neil's.
Hey, come on! I'm pretty good at getting these lame hits, man. That's pretty good.
So Gibson did these. Well, you know, he just got rid of his keyboard player.
Yeah.
And I just talked to Greg, who we're gonna probably have on the show very soon.
Greg Raleigh?
Yeah, Greg's back. Greg's in the band.
Yep.
This is breaking news.
This is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Greg's in the band. That's because of somebody wanted to use somebody's credit card and didn't tell the band members. What a douche.
You should work for TMZ or something, man.
All right, Angel, back to you, man.
5 out of 6, Bobby. A 6 out of 7. I'm pretty good.
I got a lot.
Okay,
I have
6 out of 7 is pretty
guitars
good.
in here,
That's an A. That's an A or a B plus.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, as a professor, yes, that is an A.
Thank you, sir. I'll do some
A minus.
A minus.
Come on, an A.
Oh,
What
my
difference does
God,
it
it
make
got,
if it's A
it
minus
just got
or A plus?
awfully judgy all of a sudden there, Mr. Betrayer.
He's
What
going
is
to fall
A
down the
minus?
stairs or something. I just see.
No, not yet.
I'm gonna bring him hardwood out in a minute.
We'll
Quick,
save-
Angel, quick.
Yeah, exactly.
What are your
we'll save
plans
the
for
hardwood
touring
for
in
another
2023?
I'm sorry. One more time.
Your plans for touring this year?
Well, okay. Actually, we have a new agent to the fold, and they're just starting to put things together now. One of the things that we're planning on doing, and I guess I could mention it, huh? Why not? We're talking about doing a couple of like 3-4 week runs with a band called Girl School. Do you remember Girl School?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
Alcatraz. Man, the band Alcatraz, right? Doing a 3-band bill, different segments of the country for like 3 to 4 week spreads.
Nice. Is that
because,
including Graham?
What's that?
Is that including Graham Bonnet?
No, Graham's not in the band anymore.
I knew that he had left the band, but sometimes these guys kind of it's kind of like a fraternity where
like
sometimes
Journey.
Yeah.
But the cool part about it is, do you remember a band called New England?
I do, yeah.
Don't Ever Want to Lose You. They had 3 albums out on Elektra, and Paul Stanley produced their first album, right?
Yeah.
Well, I love that band. And Jimmy Waldo, who was the bass player, I think he's bass player, is in Alcatraz. So recently, when that came up, I was like, because I remember one of my favorite albums of all time was that album, and so he's in Alcatraz, and I dug Alcatraz when that out. No Parole for Rock and Roll came out. It was Ingrid in the band at the time. Great record. But we have the same management. So we're talking about doing a run. Those 2 guys just toured Europe together and did real well. So now they want to come over here. And so we're planning on doing that. The new agent is contacting venues everywhere and starting to get us back out on the road, hopefully starting back in March. We have our first show of 2023 will be here in Louisiana in March, and then we'll see what happens there. We've got to be smart about touring because we want to go everywhere we can. They're looking at European festivals and stuff, but we want to hit the festivals and be more selective about shows because touring is a lot different than it used to be. So we're set up to do fly-ins easy. We're very self-contained, and there's so many places we need to hit. So hopefully with this new agent coming in, and still working with our old agent as well, we'll be able to start spreading this thing out some more. But
Very cool.
you know,
Absolutely. Go ahead, Angel.
Is Doggy White still with Alcatraz?
I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea. I don't know. All I know is Jimmy Waldo is still in the band. I don't know.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know very much about the lineup. Just you know, I like the band, and Jimmy, you know, fan from the New England days. So it'll be great. It'll be fun. It's a weird, kind of a weird triple bill, right? You know?
Yeah.
Girls' School's kind of got that edgy punk thing.
Mhm.
Alcatraz is kind of prog, and I don't know what we are. We're a little bit of everything. We're starting to get caught, believe this or not, with this new album, the new label, you know, they have to put a label on you, is now we're prog. I'm like,
How are you prog?
well, if you listen to the new record, it's when you were once considered, you know, hair metal, which we never were. Then you're like hard rock. Then you're this. And when they can't put a label on you, they put the next closest thing that they can relate to. So we have lots of orchestration and you know, weird sound effects and crazy stuff on this new record.
So that's why you're getting hit with progressive.
Yeah, we're getting hit with prog. And the beautiful part about it is, I say, when people say, how can they say that? I said, because they can't label us. We can't be pinpointed because we run the gamut. You know, when you get to a point where they can't figure you out, then you know you have created your own niche.
So when are we
let
going to
me
hear
tell you what we got on this
Lillianaxe
new
on
record.
RuPaul's Drag Race?
What's that?
No.
RuPaul's Drag Race? I don't think they're going to have us on that show. I doubt it.
So I got to bring this out right now.
Go ahead.
If you can figure
This
this
is-
one out,
Just keep whipping it out, dude.
I'm whipping my
Hold
wood
on
out.
1 second.
That's either Paul Gilbert or Paul McCartney.
No, it's Mr. Gilbert.
It is Gilbert. I had it right.
Get off my yard.
Okay. Now, look, it's 8 out of 9. Okay.
Oh, you're doing
Okay,
good.
so we went from
admit-
an A- to an
Ah.
A.
And the one I missed, I don't even remember.
And this guy. So
What is that? Is that a Nuno?
I'm gonna show you the headstock first.
Okay. Is that Nuno Betancourt?
No, look at the numbers.
Oh, 753.
Look at the headstock,
Okay.
which there's no name on it, but the headstock should give it away.
Why?
Because I had to ask your buddy if I could use this, and the person's who guitar it is, Duncan did my pickups, Seymour did my pickups because he did his.
Okay.
But the headstock, God, let's just say, you know, Alabama used it. That dickhead who I don't like, father-in-law designed it.
I'm completely lost. Go ahead. Tell me.
Jason Becker.
It's Jason Becker.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It's a PV headstock.
Oh, it's a PV headstock? Okay. Well, they got different headstocks.
Okay. The last one,
I thought that last one was the last.
if you can't
We got.
get this,
For now.
I'm going to call the person.
Oh, that's that guy from that band. What's his name again?
Just don't stand too close to me.
Oh, is that Andy?
Andy Summers.
Andy Summers?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Hey, I got one.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
1 out of 10.
You got one.
I'm 10. I'm 10%.
Okay. All right. Here's one for you, Bobby. Who is this?
Hold on 1 second.
Oh my God, it's Steve Blaze.
There you go.
There you go.
Yes.
We're not keeping count, so yeah, let me say 10
That's
out of
my
10.
doll right there. That's the Yoda figure.
Yeah. Here's a Brent doll.
This is my
Lego.
new action figure. This is my
Nice.
Under that hat, he's got these giant green ears. It's crazy.
All right, Steve,
Yes.
the best fucking telly player in
Oh
Nashville.
my god.
I thought that was the last one.
I don't know the telly player in Nashville. I don't
The
know.
best fucking player in Nashville.
You?
Brent Mason.
Brent Mason. Okay.
You know, oh my
I'm
god.
sorry, man.
Dude, I'm taking away your fucking Southern card from you.
You think I know everything?
Well,
Just because I'm smart doesn't mean I know everything.
well, you need to drink some of this.
Yeah, you want to do that.
Jesus juice.
All right, where
Gee-
were we? We were
Yeah,
somewhere.
let's get back on track with this one. Angel, how are we looking for guest questions, man? For fan questions.
So far, so good.
So far,
Oh,
so
here's
good?
a good question. Keith Urban or Brad Paisley?
For what?
For the best
Like,
telly player.
Most handsome, best player, best singer.
No, I think this was
Best singer.
the best telly player in.
Oh,
Nashville.
somebody was saying, okay, and that's an answer to the question. Keith
Right.
Urban or
I think our good friend Brian Jones wants you to pick who you like.
oh, is that what he wants?
Yeah.
Uh,
Who do you side with?
I don't know either one of them's music. I know that they're both good players. So I don't look, man. I'm not a. You ask me vanilla or chocolate, I'll give you an answer. But comparing people and players and bands and stuff like that, I take the. I shouldn't say the easy way out, but I take the honest way out. It's like they're all great.
Doesn't
You know what I'm saying?
doesn't Vince Gill play a telly?
He might.
I thought he did.
No, you asked me, Vince Gill or, who's another Vince? I don't know.
Vince Neil.
Vince Neil or Vince Gill. Who's taller? Vince Gill is taller.
Yeah. It's your old singer picking on you, Steve.
Of course. I live with that. So it's all right.
Exactly. You really think that he was going to be able to watch this and not have something to say to you?
And not be a smart ass. Yeah, right.
Right. Exactly. For sure.
So I gotta go this back to Brent. Brent, you held a lot of wood in your hand. What is your favorite drum kit to hit on?
Well, I don't really know. I play a Tama kit right now. I had a drum workshop kit, and then of course, you divorce your first wife, and you got to sell the nice DW kit and buy a Tama kit. So I've been playing Tama kits now for a long time, 15 years maybe.
Now, what would be that ultimate kit? If somebody said, dude, you could have this, what would be that kit that you would want?
No.
I don't really know. I mean, I like a lot of the drum. I like the drum workshop stuff. I'd probably go with like a the collector series from Drum Workshop, and I'm not real, I'm not real picky on colors or anything like that. As long as
I'm not
it's
saying that. Who was the drummer who inspired you? Who was the guy who made you want, to put two things in your hand at one time? Other than your wife.
I wonder if she's watching this. I'd say probably who I really liked was when I started getting into music. I guess I was the 80s hard rock was coming around. I like Scott Rockenfield of Queensryche when he was with them. I really liked his style, and there was some other guys. I thought wasn't it Paul Geary who played for Extreme? Wasn't he the original Extreme drummer?
Pat Geary.
Pat,
Pat, yeah.
Yeah, I really liked the funkiness of his playing and all. I think actually the first CD I bought when CDs came out was that first Extreme record. And so I played the heck out of that. And
What was your first 8-track?
my first 8-track, I think it was Donna Summer Hot Stuff.
Really?
Wasn't it?
And I'm gay.
What's that?
I said, and I'm the gay guy on here. I'm like, oh, toot toot, hey, beep beep. Whoa. I'm like, oh, that's gonna make me take another shot right
You
now.
do that.
There you go.
Lillianaxe, I know what that title now means.
Hey, you want honesty on this show, right? You didn't want me to just tell you some kind of
Yeah,
BS.
Lillianaxe. Ooh.
Yeah,
Listen,
that hammer.
my
This is a fan. This is
a piece of mind.
Yeah.
This is a family show.
I
Yeah,
thought,
it
I
is.
thought
Oh
it
my
was.
God. Rob Halford
That was
just
number
chimed
6.
in and goes, oh, he plays sticks and his name's Lillian Hammer.
2 more shots, I say blacks out.
Yeah, I'm definitely kind of with you on that. But
Please
but
just
fans,
call
we
them
still
to be your backup band.
No, two more shots, and he'll be like, "Hey, did I show y'all my guitar collection yet?"
I bet you I get all 12 of them this time.
Yeah, seriously.
right.
6 shots in 2 hours is pretty good.
Oh no, 100%. But fans, it is like, but no pun intended. But you just know how this goes. It is last call for alcohol, fans. When it comes to your questions, any comments that you want to say to Steve and Brent, now's the time to get them in. We will cover them. We will clear the board. We always do. But any questions that you want to ask the guys, now's your time to do it. This is last call for questions. Last call for alcohol. But I wanted to steer it back a little bit when it comes to the actual albums and stuff like that, because Steve, you in the various lineups and mocks of Lillianaxe. You've always been very consistent when it comes to your records. Again, you're on your 10th album now, 15 releases overall. When it came to like studio albums, even the few times that you had like kind of a gap between studio records, like you had about a 10-year gap between the last 2 like studios, but then you had Temple right in the middle there.
Right.
You've always definitely found a way to keep Lillian, around and kind of in the forefront, because the one thing that we've always said on this show, something that I've always believed and always kind of noticed, is music in particular can be a really cruel mistress when it comes to that, where if you're not staying in the public eye, or if you're not doing some type of release to kind of remind everybody that you guys are here and staying current. How have you always looked at the release of Lillian material?
If I
What about
had
the release?
the ability to do so, I would put something out every 6 months. But like we spent 3 years on From Womb to Tomb, because when we started recording it, Brent wasn't even in the band yet. We had just started doing I Am Beyond and Breathe, and that, so it was kind of good timing. But these songs were recorded in the order that they are on the record. In other words, Breathe was done first, then I Am Beyond, because I wanted to keep it very organic. I wanted to keep it where we were concentrating, and we record one song at a time. We don't do like all drums, then all bass and all guitars. I want concentration on that song, that we think about nothing else. We're not doing homogenized drum sounds and sounds with every song. So we take the first track and we dive into Breathe. We've got to get the mindset about that baby, that child being born, and the power and the dynamic of taking this unborn thing, and how do we make it pop out of the womb in majesty and beauty, and express what we're trying to say. We do that by we dive in one track at a time. So then we go to the next section, I Am Beyond. Now, a few of the songs I had written years ago, but they were just waiting for their right place. Maybe like 3 or 4 of the tracks. The rest of them were being written as it was time to go to that next segment on the album. So Ascension, for example, the very last track, I had the main riff on my phone for about 6 years. And then I knew it was going to be the end of this record when I wrote it years ago. But I had the keyboard thing, and I had to wait, because when I write a song, I'm so invested in it that I wake up in the middle of the night and it's in my head. I wake up in the morning, it's in my head. I can't get it out until it's finally demoed then I relax and then move on to the next one. So it's torturous. So at that point, everything is done, and it took us 3 years, right? So, the whole idea of One Night in the Temple started off as me and Sam and Brian, who was singer at the time, sitting at a campfire with like 4 or 5 people. Next thing you know, it's 60 people at a contest, and it's a 3-hour show, and it's a question and answer, and it's catered, and it's 10 songs, and we're bringing in guest people and guests from all over the place, and adding violin, and bringing Johnny Vines on, and bringing guest people that I written songs about, and people winning a contest to come in this huge environment. The whole band's playing electric acoustic, and taking songs that we've never even played out live for, and it turned into this giant thing that took 4 or 5 months to put together. And then when Psalms for Eternity came out, how do we capsulate? How do we give something out there that we have not done yet? And then all the while we're doing that. But if it was financially feasible and time feasible, we'd put something out. Brett and I, for example, right now, we're in discussion about putting out a children's lullaby album, which will be nothing but acoustic guitars and keyboards and piano, just for babies to go to sleep to. So I mean, music is an amazing thing. We have so many things that we want to get done that are in our head. It's just a matter of the finances and time to get everything done properly. So
absolutely, for sure. And what would you say going into 2023, now that we're in it and you have these the tours that we talked about and everything that's getting put together, and having that fresh music for people's ears, what's the current plan for what you would like to see Womb to the Tomb accomplish?
I would like it to sell about 50 million albums. Now, actually, I just want everybody to hear it. That's the biggest problem. I mean, you've got our fan. We have a very loyal fan base worldwide, and they, the response on this album has been amazing. Anytime there's a change, especially with a vocalist, you're going to get flack, from people. It's a sad thing to admit, but you're going to. Whatever you do, you can change drummer, bass player, or whatever. But when you change a singer, hold on now, we got to check this out first. People are, you got to really come in there and knock them out. We killed it with this. This is the best record we've ever done in my viewpoint. And I'm not, being prejudiced or anything, because I wrote all the songs. I tell you what I think is our crowning achievement. I love every record we've ever done. I'm very proud of everyone. But if somebody said you got one you can pick that will represent everything that you have done in 40 years, this would be the one. I can't stop listening to it. I'm actually more concerned about where am I going to go now? What is this band? What are we going to do now to go beyond this? Which we have ideas and we're working on already. But that's what I want. I want people to hear it. If they listen to it with an open mind, I guarantee you, if 50 million hear it, 40 million will get it. Yep. And it's, we're a kind of band that's got to be understood. We that's what we perform and write for, people that get it, people that understand. If you're a person that likes, really surface level music about drinking and partying and going to the club, we're just not your guys. I think you'll appreciate that. Yeah, it's a good band. They know what they're doing, but we don't like it. But if you like emotional, heavy, hard rock music, there's so many great bands out there, but we're one of them. And if you hear this record, you will be emotionally moved some way, somewhere on this album. And I just know it. I've heard it too many times, and I just feel so strongly about it. So that's what I'd like. I want us to get out there. We just revamped the whole set. We're doing songs in the set now that we've never done before. And we're making the set more of our epic songs. So the whole set is very emotional. And we're opening with the Golden Dragon, which we've been opening with Misery Loves Company for 20 years. So we have a brand new opener. We're playing Dance of the Maggots live, which is an 8.5 minute long epic thing. One of the things I was saying earlier, people are like, what's this album like? I'll tell you what we have on this record. We have timpanis, we have Hammond B3, we have maggots, flies, dragons, heartbeats of babies, pianos, cellos, the sound of a woolly mammoth, 2 80 voice choirs.
That sounds like my bedroom at night.
It's like there's so many bells, chimes. There's so many like soundscape things on this record that it's just and people are
Tony,
listening.
put the woolly mammoth on.
People are saying, "Man, I've heard the record 10 times, and I hear something new every single time I listen to it." And that's what we try to create. We work hard at layering things and creating the soundscape. And Ted Jensen mastered it. If you look up Ted Jensen, he has mastered some of the biggest records of all time. Hotel California, Billy Joel's A Stranger. He just did the brand new Ghost record. He has done everybody from Madonna to Tool. And he made this record. The mixes were fantastic. Kent Bruce did a great engineering and mix job on this. And Ted Jensen took it to the next level. It is a really beautiful, warm sounding album. I just so proud of what these guys all did. You know, they worked hard. The whole team worked really hard. Took a long time, but
That's great.
Very proud of it. And
For
thank
sure.
the fans, man. It's great to the fans have been amazing. I mean, there are people out there, you know, just like, you know, it's a tough thing, and everybody in a band, if you say differently, you're not telling the truth. But every time you put a record out, you stand to get some crap from people.
Hey,
you know what I'm
look,
saying?
I gotta say, look, last year, you know, meeting you guys at Monsters was, you know, incredible, and seeing your set out there. So, you know, I love what you're doing. I love that you're progressing. And, you know, Brent, congratulations. You know, look, don't be embarrassed about, you know, your
the kneecap.
Don't be embarrassed about Donna Summer. It's all right. I know y'all had some Donna Summer somewhere along the line.
Another shot for Donna.
Oh.
You know,
Do you have a Donna Summer's guitar back there anywhere?
Yeah. Who played guitar for Donna Summer?
it was probably Niles Roger who sat there on his thing doing chink, 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 you know. Wait, before we go. All right.
Billy Duffy Cult.
No.
Give me a hint. I just tried to go right off.
Oh, come on. Cat on a Hot Tin Roof.
Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Irving Berlin.
Might be a stray.
Oh, don't say anything. Stray Cats.
Brian Setzer.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay, let me tell you a story. Lillianaxe played with the Stray Cats.
Oh, that's awesome. I love the Stray
Cats. That kicks ass.
Yeah. We did it, man. We played with some weird bands, man. Everybody from we played with Eddie Money, Stray Cats, The Outfield. We opened up for the Smurfs once, long time ago. Oh God, some bands you would, and then you know we played with Godsmack and Seether and Judas Priest and Alice Cooper, and then The Outfield. So
Steve, look,
Stray Cats.
This guy was a plumber.
He's a plumber.
He was a plumber.
And okay, that's not a good hint, man. I mean,
oh my God, Tom Snyder.
Okay. Oh, Tom Snyder, the plumber. Yeah. Okay.
He was very drunk.
Oh, really? He was? That is nice, though. Is that an Ace Frehley?
Yes.
Yep. Well, the 3 pickups give it away.
Yep.
Well, I could bring out another 3, and if you didn't know that, you'd have to do what he says.
Look, I've been pretty good with your guessing game here, all right? So let me go out on top.
Okay. Well, that's what Tony keeps saying. Bobby, will you go out on top?
Oh, Lord. That's what she said. Okay.
For sure. So Steve, one other thing as we go around the table one more time, because we definitely want you guys to be able to enjoy your evening, is considering that you have, you know, your teeth, your nails, everything dug so much into Lillianaxe, of course, being the guy and writing everything. how do you keep yourself improving and not getting stuck into like a rut? Like, how do you challenge yourself with whether it's your writing or your guitar playing or just anything? Like, what gets you like excited and wanting to push the envelope on yourself?
Well, first of all, is my mentality is that I'm never ever even remotely close to being where I'm going.
Great.
Not just
Love it.
not just playing wise or writing wise, but mentally and spiritually. That's never going to jump. And that's one of the things on this record that we tried to let people know that there's a thing called Finally Clarity where Brent, it's a talking part where Brent says, basically, this is just the start of the journey. Be still, be quiet, listen, and embrace it. And so when it comes down to writing, look, there's a million guitar players that all play well. There's a billion great singers and drummers, and the talent, it's all out there, right? But that's just a fragment of it, man. There's a bigger, more spiritual picture in it. When you get a group of people together and you're able to create something that is, you're taking something that's timeless, something that reaches a lot of people. And the aspect of anything I can play on the guitar in any of our songs, I could have played 30 years ago. I can play it in 30 years from now. But what am I creating with that that's going to be timeless, right? There's a million guitar players that come in and play all my solos, or whatever. They can pick them out or whatever, play the right chords and all that. But that's not it. It's the essence of those songs. And that's what is never going to I'll never be satisfied with, because everything that's coming out of our heads and our hearts is always going to be improving. It's always going to be growing. So the ideas are going to get better. The way we portray what we're thinking is going to evolve and grow and get better and more improved, because that's, at the end of the day, is the journey that we're on's got to go forward and upward. We're going to take bumps, we're going to push back, we're going to get forward, but the whole idea is to continue to grow, even beyond wherever we're going when we pass up this planet. We go to the next thing. So that's how it's all internal, how I continue to drive myself, because I'm never satisfied and I'm never at the point where I think I'm as good as other people do. I'm just like, I'm trying. That's all I can tell you. Whether it's good or not, I'm happy with what I do when I'm putting the effort forth. If I stop putting the effort forth, then I'm not satisfied with myself. But I surround myself with guys like him that have the same drive and the same principles and morals and are good people, So that's the most important thing. When you have a group of people, like-minded people working hard together that are honestly good human beings, only good comes out of it.
Absolutely.
That's
100% for sure. Absolutely. Angel, let's kick it down to you, buddy. Let's clear the board of any pending questions for Steve and Brent.
Who came up with the Poetic Justice album cover?
The original cover for Poetic Justice, which if anybody has, remember the big long cardboard boxes CDs came in?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when that came out, they were still doing that. That was the last of the big long cardboard boxes. Because the next album, Psycho Schizophrenia, I don't know if they were doing those big long ones, but that was like the end where everybody got concerned with killing all the trees. We don't need to do cardboard boxes anymore, so we just eliminate them. Which is for whatever reason, they stopped doing that. But if you look on the back of Poetic Justice, there is an underwater scene. And it's a judge, and he's being weighted down, and there's the grandmother out through the water. You can see her standing on the side of the swimming pool or the beach or wherever this guy is. It's supposed to be a swimming pool, but we have a drowning judge. So that was originally going to be the first album cover, was Poetic Justice. So this crooked judge is drowning in this pool, weighted down, and the grandma with the axe is standing on the front, representing us and goodness, right? So the evil judge is being, laid to rest in this swimming pool. But they couldn't get the actual image. They actually had a photographer submerged in the pool, and they couldn't quite get the picture right. It didn't really come out well. The idea was good, but it didn't translate well through the picture. So then they start talking about, well, what about having this? We go with a little bit of a kind of a comedic edge to it. We have the grandmother actually on the cover, and she's in this room with all this wallpaper, and there's a photo, a portrait of Lillianaxe on the wall, and she's like guarding you, so to speak. And we're like, okay, so they gave me a bunch of composite sheets from elderly models. So there were like 5 elderly ladies that were models, and we got to pick. Of course, it's not like they had bikini shots or anything on them, but it was like, moo shots, more or less. And we had to pick the one that we felt would represent Lillian on the album cover the best, and we picked that lady. And we actually got to meet her too as well, and she was very nice. So so that's how that came about. It wasn't the original cover, but it developed into that after the first cover actually didn't come out well. But you can still find it on the back of the cardboard sleeve.
Oh, nice. Here, Angel, stay with it real quick, but since we're talking about album covers, Steve, how did Sharon Case get involved with the Love and War album cover?
That was strictly the label.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they I didn't know it. She was on General Hospital. And the funny part about it is I started watching General Hospital when I was about 7 or 8 years old. And I didn't, I didn't stay up with it, but that's where they got her from. And it's funny because years later, like in the late 90s, we were working in a studio for my other project, Near Life Experience, that I had in the 90s. And we were cutting a record at the studio. And the owner of the studio said one of his best friends had dated her for a while. So it was kind of weird. And but I never met her. The band never met her or anything. We just, it was probably just a modeling shoot for her.
Oh, gotcha.
Pretty iconic album cover, though. I mean, a lot of people really like that cover.
Yeah, and you've got it as one of the T-shirts on the website.
Absolutely.
100%. Awesome. Right back to you, Angel.
Will the tour later this year be with another band? And will you be playing festivals?
We want to play festivals. We love festivals. Actually, the agent is reaching out to all the festivals right now. Those are the things that I really like to do, because not only is the only part about it that's kind of a bummer is you don't get to play very long, but just having the ability to play with other bands that are we enjoy doing that, playing with them and getting to reach fans of other bands that maybe have never seen us before. And all those festivals are really well done. The promoters, Larry Moran and Sullivan Big and all the guys that put on these festivals, they really do a good job, and they take care of the bands. It's a lot of fun. We like doing those. But, I like package tours. And that's why we're talking about maybe Girls School and Alcatraz and Lillian doing some dates. But I love doing the package thing. We've done them in the past, and they work out well. If you have like-minded bands and you can make it a smoothly run operation where everybody gets together and we can consolidate equipment and road crews to make it more fluid, it's all the fun in the world. Yeah, we love it.
And Brian wants to know, where can I buy a Lillianaxe wrist sweatband?
A wrist sweatband. You know what? When Brian Jones asks questions like that, you should probably just make up a good. You can buy them, Brian, at lillianaxesweatbands.com.
Next to the cock rings. They're right next to
What the hell, Bobby?
That's one product, that line I haven't gotten into, Bobby.
Why not? Because look, we're getting old. We need something to keep it stiff.
Well, sex sells, so you could go with those things.
You guys go out in public with him much?
All the time.
Try not to.
It's my first day. So
right.
That's my story, and I'm sticking
need
to
another
it.
drink.
He takes me to the best pizza place.
Dude, it's like 10 shots of absinthe.
Well, that's 7. Yeah, I think that was 8.
Yeah, but you don't know what he's doing. Like when he goes out of the room, there, he's probably got
Exactly, for sure.
Look, I got skateboards. I got keyboard. I even got a black guy here who talks. Hey, where's he at?
Oh my Lord!
Like,
Do you realize if I had one half of a shot of that stuff, you'll be peeling me off the floor right now.
He's done 8.
see, he's the best piano player you ever heard. And he's black, so don't deny it because you'll get ACLU will come after you.
And dude, we all know how much we all know your relationship with Doug Pinnick, brother.
Who, me or Bobby?
Me?
Bobby.
Oh God, Dougie. Oh, Dougie, send me a dick pic. No.
All right. Well, before we go too far
That
off
name
the rails,
King's X did
how
not.
are we doing with the fan questions, Angel?
Also, we just appreciate you guys putting up with us for 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yes.
Absolutely. For sure.
It's been a great pleasure, man.
It's been fun.
But yeah, awesome. We're so glad that you guys have a good time. But Steve, Brent, where can you guys be found? Where can Lillianaxe be found?
Honestly, believe it or not, Facebook, Lillianaxe Facebook page, Brent Graham, all the guys in the band, Steve Blaze, we all have Facebook page, lillianaxe.com are the best places to find because we're very active on there. I'm on just about every other day.
I just found you on Tinder.
No, you didn't.
Instagram. I think,
Instagram too. Instagram. I don't really do the Twitter. I have a Twitter account, but I don't really.
Grandmoms for Steve Blaze.
Yeah, I think there needs to be some more respect in social media with people. I mean, I try to stay away from dealing with. When you think about how many people on the planet, there's just some really mean, ugly stuff out there. You know what I mean? And so, rather than getting too worked up about it, just try to eliminate that out of my life. Concentrate on good people, and there's plenty of really good people out there in the world. So we just concentrate on that. But that's the best place to find out is through lillianaxe.com or any of the Facebook pages.
Absolutely. And before we cut you loose and we wrap everything up, please, guys, say something directly to your fans.
You go first, buddy.
Just want to thank everybody for the support, not only for the, since the band started, but for the new record and the kind words that the band's received on the record. To me personally, it means the world to me. And thank you for embracing me and letting me do what I love doing so much, and don't give me such a hard time about it. See, there you go. And I love you guys. Thank y'all very much, man.
And I would like to say, since, gosh, bless it, started the band in 1983. I know, I can't even believe that I'm even older than 30 years old. I know, but anyway.
Hey, Steve, that's why they make Botox. Look, I just got off Disney. I have more things shoved in my
No, but doesn't this guy look good though? I'm not going to say his age. No,
hey, I'm the same way. I'm like,
it's the beard oil.
It is. It's the beard oil.
Beard oil. Yeah.
I put it all over my face.
I just got my hair done. I have Eric Singer calling me fucking Graham Bonnet all the time.
There you go. I just saw Eric Singer and when we're in the UK. As a matter of fact, if you go look at the Mr. Big, there's a whole concert of them in Indonesia. He's wearing a Steve Blaze T-shirt during the whole concert.
No way.
Yep, we met him and did an acoustic show together in Illinois several years ago, and he is one of the nicest, coolest, funniest guys you'll ever want to meet. But back to the fans, guys. I've been around a long time. So many memories and music and meeting so many people, and that has been such like you asked, what's the most important, best thing about being a musician? That's it, is relating to so many people all over the world that appreciate and understand we're on the same level. We understand and feel the same way about so many things, and that means a lot to us. That's why we keep doing this, why we still take immense pride in everything we do, because we want to make sure that we continue to make you all happy and move you in whatever ways we can. And guys like y'all that are doing these always, you guys are in the midst, in the thick of everything with your podcast and interviews and websites. Thank you all so much, man. And it's always a pleasure. Trust me, it's 2.5 hours. It feels like 15 minutes because you guys are great. And we appreciate
Brent, I got to ask you. So since
you, man.
Brent
Thank
did
you.
Out of the Cellar, can we say this is the Brent and Steve Out of the Closet tour?
No, because we're still in the closet right now.
Right.
No,
Love you guys.
absolutely.
Thank you for putting up with all our
The
shenanigans
the
tonight.
next time we're on, we'll be in a different room. That'll be the out of the closet.
Yeah.
Yes,
Nice.
it'll be out of the closet, out of the bed. Do it in the bathroom.
We'll do it in a man cave next time.
Body on the body.
Absolutely. No, and Brent and Steve, thank you so much. And Steve, I mean, I always appreciate you, man. I mean, geez, you and I have done like 5-6 interviews over the
At
years.
least,
So,
yeah.
you know,
Absolutely.
we've
see you
talked
again.
quite a bit, man, and you've always been so genuine. So I always appreciate you, brother. And Brent, thank you as well for embracing us
Love you
and
guys.
being involved
Oh,
with
man,
us as well.
Yeah, you guys are great, man. Really appreciate it.
Stay in touch, man. Please. Y'all have my
we will.
email. You got my
And
numbers.
whatever we can do to help you out, we're here. Look,
Well, we appreciate it and hope
Thank
to
you.
see you soon.
Absolutely.
Stay in touch.
get up to the
Without a
East
doubt,
Coast, man. We'll
absolutely.
promote the hell out of you.
Hopefully, we'll be there in a few months.
All right?
Yeah,
Great.
That
We're
would
here
definitely
for
be
you.
great. But Metal
All right,
Summoners, thank you guys so much. Make sure that you guys are supporting Lillianaxe, Steve, Brent, all the guys with From Womb to the Tomb is out. They're getting ready to hit the road. They're going to be all over and hoping to get everything set up for all kinds of touring, Europe, States. Make sure you're supporting the guys. We had a long time without music. They had a long time without performing. And now we're getting all of that back and have gotten all that back. So support Lillianaxe, support live music, and get out there and just have a good time, guys. We on the Metal Summit really appreciate you guys supporting us. So on behalf of us to you guys, the Metal Summoners, to the Lillianaxe fans, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And on behalf of ourselves, for Bobby, for Angel, and for myself, hit us up on our socials, BobbyDreyer.com, Angel Alamo on both Facebook and Instagram, and myself on Facebook, as well as Just a RNR Junkie for Instagram. We always look forward to being blessed to be able to put these shows on for you and have great guests like Steve and Brent on. So thanks to them for being willing and able and enjoying themselves to be back on with us. So thank them so much. On behalf of Lillianaxe, on behalf of the Metal Summit, have a great weekend. Be good to each other, guys. Guest announcement over the weekend for next week's episode. It's going to be another great one. Take care of yourselves. Love each other. And as always, you've been watching the Metal Summit.
Yeah.